Andrew, would you hurry up?
Hit it one time.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today is the big day. We're going to be swapping out the AOD for a T5. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today is the day that we take the AOD out of the Calypso Clone and put a T5 in it, but we're having some issues. Let's talk about that. This is a transmission out of a 94-95 Mustang. We were unaware, but this thing came with a FOXBODY bell housing. Now, what does that mean? Well, it still has the stock input shaft out of a 94-95, which is longer. So with the FOXBODY bell housing on it, the input shaft sticks out like that far past the bell housing. We're going to go right now. Zach has an input shaft, so we're going to go over to Zach's house, grab this input shaft, and hopefully put it in the car with the FOXBODY bell housing, and we will be mint. We've already taken the input shaft out and measured it up, and it is absolutely 100% a stock input shaft. So we're going to go to Zach's, pick this stuff up. We'll come back, hopefully get the T5, get the FOXBODY input shaft put back in this thing, get the bell housing put back on it, and then we're going to start taking out the AOD. All right, guys, we'll see you in a few.
Andrew, would you hurry up?
This is what he does. This is his third plate already. So we have us an input shaft for this T5, and everything should be gravy. We're going to go ahead, tip this thing up, put all the bearings in, get this thing back together. Okay, so on the inside of this input shaft, we're going to put a little grease just to kind of keep everything, all these little bearings in there together so they don't come out. You don't have to get carried away with it like I did, but anyway, you put a little grease in here like that, and then you want to start laying your roller bearings back in. Alright guys, so as you can see, we have all 15 bearings back in, and then we're going to start reassembling everything. Just make sure everything is in place before you start throwing everything back together. So you want to tip the transmission forward. There's a cutout right here, and you want to slide this past the gear. So alright, so everything looks good, and it's going to be loose until you put the bearing retainer on. So we're going to go over here, clean this up, and we should be good to go. The big notch right here goes down. The small notch goes up. Alright guys, I'm going to take this inside. We're going to wash it, clean it up real good, and I'll get back to you in just a few minutes.
Dad, he's your husband.
Andrew, what are you doing? Alright guys, we've got the retainer on. Got a little bit of RTV around here, which they say is a no-no, but we're going to do it anyway because I don't have anything else. And that's that. No in play. So we're good there. Everything's good and tight. And for now, we're just going to kind of set this off to the side. We got the bell housing cleaned up, and forget about this for a little while and move on to removing the AOD out of this car. Now guys, we have so much content in this. I mean, this, you can imagine, I mean, this is going to be hours and hours and hours worth of work that we have to do. So we're not going to be able to film everything. Ray's going to come over, Zach's coming over, so hopefully, you know, we'll be able to kind of switch out a little bit and help. We should be able to knock this out tonight, or at least get the transmission in the car and maybe finish it up tomorrow, because it's like 5 o'clock already. What?
I'm going to be doing all the work. You won't have time to be able to videotape all of it.
He acts like he does everything. He doesn't do anything. He's not helped me one bit. And all of this work over here. I swear I can't deal with him. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead, get up under the car, start taking this out. Holla. Alright guys, so once again I have screwed the pooch. I forgot to set up a time lapse, and we just been grinding away. Luckily, look at it, Andrew, we got it out yet. Luckily, we don't have anything like out yet. Andrew got the I got the exhaust out from under the car, and a couple other things. So anyway, Ray's over, Zacchaeus is over, and Memphis is here too. She wants to be in the video. So we're gonna go ahead, get under here, get this drive shaft out. Andrew didn't take all the bolts out, so I still got one left to do, I guess. You couldn't get to it?
No, I couldn't get to it.
We're going to go ahead and get busy. We're going to let Zacchaeus film a little bit. See you guys in a few. Shove it in Andrew's face. He's always good for something.
Oh, ain't wrong.
I'll wiggle it.
What, man?
I got it.
I don't know how much transmission fluid still up in it.
All of it, because he ain't let it drop out.
You ain't rigging, you ain't right.
That's right.
I think what happens is I have to just take a break.
No, you don't.
Let y'all get over.
Oh, I didn't realize you was off the brake.
We do have the transmission out of the car, so I'll get under here and show you. I forgot to click record again. All we got left to do is get the flex plate off and get the transmission lines out and the shifter. So we're going to take care of that, and we will get back to you guys when we start putting everything back in. Now remember, there's nothing to this right now. All you're doing is removing the transmission, the flex plate, and anything associated with the automatic. So we're not getting any swap parts or anything like that yet. Also under here, you got to take your TV cable off underneath here. So just make sure you get all that off, because if you are going to sell it, something like that, somebody else is going to use it, they're going to need that. So we're going to go ahead, get back on this. We'll get back to you guys in a few minutes.
Hit it one time.
All right, guys, we are currently taking a break. Ray's about to head to the house. Appreciate the help, Ray, by the way. We got the transmission in the car, and what else we got? We got to do the drive shaft, the shifter, exhaust. That's it, pretty much. So it's about done. We won't finish it probably tonight. We won't drive it tonight anyway, but that's where we're at. Anyway, guys, sorry there's been no time lapse or anything. It's literally taking us hours. That's all right. Once we're done, I'll go over everything with you guys. But I do want to show you this. So I know it's dark out here, but this is Ray's car. Yeah, 88 GT Super Clean Survivor car, guys. I'll brighten it up. I know it's really dark out here, but I've got some more pictures and video of it, so I'll try to include that. But we're gonna do some more videos with this car here pretty soon, hopefully. But this thing is beautiful. All right, guys, I'm gonna get back in here, get back to work. Ray's gonna head to the house, and I'm gonna show Andrew how to do work. All right, guys, she is running. I want to apologize to you guys because we didn't get a lot of footage tonight. That's kind of obvious. We have been working our butts off to get this done in one day. So kind of limited on time, but we got it done. We ran into some major issues, and what we'll do is we'll talk about that in a future video. In the next video, we'll sit down, we'll go through everything. Look at that. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this video up, and we may talk a little bit later tomorrow, but for right now, we got to get this thing cut off. It's getting late. All right, guys, it is the next day. As you can see, the car is on the ground, but everything is not good. We were up last night till, I don't know, probably 1 o'clock working on the car. Took us a little while. We had some issues that I had mentioned before. So we're going to cover all of these issues in probably the next video. Give you a little more in-depth detail of what went on, what we had to do to make the swap work, and some of the issues that you might need to watch out for. Now, we'll touch on them today a little bit. I'll let you know what's going on with the car, but we'll talk about it a little more in depth probably in the next video. But as you can see, like I said, the car is done. And it was a long night, guys. One of the first things that we ran across was the input shaft. All that stuff needed to be changed. As you all know, it was a SN95 input shaft with a FOXBODY bell housing. That means that the input shaft was sticking out too far, so we had to find another one. We found a FOXBODY input shaft, got it in the car. Everything seemed to be pretty good there. Well, when we put the dust cover on, the dust plate, dust cover, whatever you want to call it, when we put that on, yeah, everything didn't line up just right. So I ended up cutting a portion of the dust cover out just so we could get the starter on. We noticed this late in the game, guys, and I was not going to pull this down. I said, you know what, it's worth a shot. We'll go ahead, we'll trim a little bit of this off because the starter wouldn't go up in the hole. Well, that posed a problem. Now what's happened is it's rubbing on the flywheel, so everything's going to have to come back out. And we also have another issue with second gear. I think we have a cracked or broken shift fork, because second gear on the car, it just doesn't want to click in good. You know, you can just feel that it doesn't engage the gear all the way. It'll just kind of grind its way back out, pop out, or sometimes you can hit it just right and it'll go right in. So more than likely that's going to be a shift fork. We'll pull it down and see. But guys, look, like I told you, this was the whole reason for throwing this car together. We now have a complete car that when we pull it apart, we have all the pieces to put it back together. There's no guesswork. We know where all the bolts go. We have all the clutch cables and the brackets and everything. We have a running, driving car right now. Mainly, there's only two issues, and that is it wants to pop out of second gear and the dust cover is rubbing on the flywheel. That's it, guys. And it causes the starter to be all jacked up. So I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead, start everything up, and I'll let you guys hear what I'm talking about. Be forewarned, it's pretty bad. But look at that, though. Everything's not cleaned up, obviously, and I have to get a stock shift knob. But look at that, guys, and that's legit. Look at that. So real quick, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's just listen, guys. Listen closely to the way the gears engage. See if you can tell a difference. Now second. See what I'm saying? See, it doesn't click the gear, engage the gear all the way. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be a shift fork issue. Hear that? Okay, guys, are you ready? Are you ready to hear this thing? It sounds like crap, but we'll get it addressed eventually. So as you can hear, we have some noises down there. No worries though, guys. There's nothing wrong per se. It's just that dust cover is rubbing up on the flywheel. So I promise you guys, I'm not concerned about it. It's not a big deal. I'm still very, very excited about this because we now have a 5-speed in the car, and honestly, the thing shifts great other than second gear. There's no issues. The clutch feels fine, you know, so all that stuff worked out really good, and we have a complete car. So maybe somewhere closer to Christmas or so, maybe a little after Christmas, we'll pull this thing back out and we'll get it checked out. We'll make sure everything's good. I've got a couple buddies that can actually rebuild T5s, so I may get it with one of them, and we'll see what we can do with it. Or if it's just a broken shift fork, then that's what we're going to address. We're going to put this thing back in. As far as the dust cover goes, no issue. I know what that is. So guys, I'm pretty happy. So I hope you guys are still excited about this. I know it may seem like the end of the world, but it's really not. I've got some really good help with Andrew and everybody else. By the way, thank you so much, Ray and Zach, for coming over last night and helping. So here it is, guys. It just looks better to me. Just look at the car. To me, the car just looks lighter on its feet. You're like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But the car just, it's complete now. I don't know how else to say it. It's just complete. So now the only thing left to do is pull this thing back out, fine tune it, make it perfect. It's getting later on in the year. We're not wanting to turn as many wrenches anymore. I've told you guys about that. What we're going to do is talk about some of my old cars. You know, we're going to put some pictures up, talk about those. I know a lot of you guys have asked about them. And we're just going to chill out and kind of go on cruise control for the rest of the year. And probably after the first of the year, we'll pull this thing apart. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. And as always, thanks for watching.